Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Sam and Blake here, presenting to you Music Major Moments. So this is not the podcast. This is a YouTube exclusive series that we want to put some investment into. You might see this more in season 2, but just a way to have some shorter videos that aren't Music Major Meltdown. And today we wanted to bring you guys this video for a very important release like a week and a half ago. It's Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license.
Yes.
So before we get into it, I guess we should explain the reason why we wanted to do a video on it. So believe it or not,
because of the drama.
There is a ton of drama here. But Sam and I are actually very big High School Musical, the musical, the series fans, which Olivia Rodrigo stars in as Nina. And so when I heard that she was releasing this single, and it was getting a bunch of hype, had to listen to it. First off, Sam, maybe just your impressions on driver's license and just what you think of Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise to me. I found myself very pleasantly surprised. I'm used to, and I think we both grew up with this idea that when somebody does Disney, right? Like,
yeah,
when they do Disney or like are even currently doing Disney, especially
as she is,
their songs are not bad, but they're basically like kids' versions of pop songs.
They're a little less mature.
Yeah, they're not mature at all. They're just like, I mean, quite frankly, it's like sunshine and rainbows. It's like you can imagine it as being the theme song to one of the Disney Channel shows.
Especially lyrically.
Yes, exactly.
Like Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, the Jonas Brothers. Those artists really is what we expect out of the Disney mold when you're that young. She's 17 years old.
Yes, exactly. She is 17 years old. First of all, I was caught extremely off guard when she swore in the song, and not even like light swearing, but full on drops the F-bomb just in it. So, I mean, be aware if you're listening to the explicit version of the song, which, if you ask me, I think we should always listen to the explicit versions of the song. I think that is how the artist usually intends it to be released, is with the explicit lyrics.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep going off on these tangents today, but I am so pumped about this song. This song, I was expecting that early Disney sound, think like Jonas Brothers when they were on Disney Channel. And what I ended up getting, it was like, I just felt so like, I felt like Lorde. Like Lorde was sort of I felt like an influence there. And I felt like maybe a hint of Adele I heard a little bit there. Like, I just think about these powerhouse female artists that aren't like distinctly poppy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I felt Lorde and Lana Del Rey vibes.
Oh, Lana, yes, exactly.
That's what I felt. I love Lorde, by the way. Love Lorde.
And Lana Del Rey, I think, is also pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was expecting, if nothing else, something like Taylor Swift-esque, which, I mean, we'll probably talk about this at maybe another Music Major Moments. This actually,
but like young Taylor Swift.
Exactly, young Taylor Swift is what I felt like it sounded like, or what I thought it would sound like. Sorry, excuse me, but that is not the vibe I got at all. Like we said, Lorde and Lana Del Rey, and that was so jarring. And then lyrically, it was, I mean, I'll admit, a little bit naive. It was a little bit,
but the concept of it is like, it wasn't just, oh, this is a sappy love song. Like, she connected it to a specific experience, like an object, where, you know, it's not necessarily like the most elite professional lyric interpretation, but it is one of those better steps in like the progression of an artist's lyrics. It's at like 17.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like, for the experiences of a 17-year-old, this is, I think, way up there and about like towards the peak of what lyrically a 17-year-old can convey and have it be genuine.
It was great to not sound cliche.
Exactly. No cliche at all with this. It just sounded like a great song. And the lyrics, though, like I said, naive, she's 17, makes total sense. I mean, if you haven't listened to the song, go check it out. But the whole concept of the song is talking about how she was talking with an now ex-boyfriend about how excited she was to get her driver's license. And then she now has that driver's license, but they've broken up. And so now she just can't stop thinking about him as she's driving around alone in her car, fresh with her driver's license, past his place through the suburbs, and is missing him intensely. Which, I mean, as a song, like when I describe it like that, does it sound that like interesting? Maybe not. Like, I understand we're adults, or I think generally, like at least for the two of us, we're more towards adults. We're a little bit past that stage, but it's relatable across across everything. And she talks about that throughout a lot of it. And the thing that we really want to focus on today, though, is a couple of the lines that allude to, one, who the ex-boyfriend was or is, and two, why they are exes. So let's dive in. First of all, one of the lines that I think sort of leads towards who this ex might be is, "Guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me." Now, that is sort of like, yeah, she's a musician. Maybe she has musician friends. There's two angles I want to take with this, and they both lead back to one person. Mm-hmm. Ricky from the show, High School Musical, the series. Blake, remind me of what his name is.
Bassett, I believe.
Joshua Bassett. First of all, like, guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me. Angle one. In the show, he writes a song about her. And that show is what has helped launch her career. So I have to guess that is influencing her.
Yeah.
And two, Joshua Bassett has also written some music that there are a few songs that they guess are written about her based on some context clues in those that we're not going to go into right now. But he has apparently written songs about her. And that sort of leads then into point number two. A little bit of backstory for all of our non-TikTok viewers out there. Apparently, it was a pretty big deal that Joshua Bassett, around Halloween time, dressed up as Shark Boy alongside Sabrina Carpenter, another Disney, not quite alum, but recently out of Disney, at least.
Yeah.
Like, she's technically an alum, but she still is shaking off that Disney-ness. So Sabrina Carpenter and Joshua Bassett dressed up as Shark Boy and Lava Girl on TikTok and showed off their costumes, which led a lot of people to believe that they might then be an item. And this, at the time, was just weeks out of some sort of image that him and Olivia Rodrigo were an item. So there's all this drama going through there. Sabrina Carpenter is 21, if I remember correctly. She is 21 years old. And Olivia Rodrigo is 17. There's a point why this. One of the early verses in the songs of Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license. "And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt. She's so much older than me. She's everything I'm insecure about." I mean,
has to be. And it seems coincidental until Sabrina Carpenter released a diss track. I don't know if
I'd go so far as to say it's a diss track, but it definitely feels like a response.
Yes.
She released a song called Skin that came out perhaps coincidentally. We're not here to say factually any of this stuff. It's a pretty strong coincidence if you ask me.
To read the lyrics about the blonde girl specifically.
She released a song called Skin, which sort of the main idea is not letting things get under her skin, such as perhaps being dissed in a song by another artist. But we're not going to open that door too wide. The first verse, I think, says almost all of it. Maybe we could have been friends if I met you in another life. Maybe then we could pretend there's no gravity in the words we write. Maybe you didn't mean it. Maybe blonde was the only rhyme. The only
That's
rhyme.
Not a coincidence. There's no way.
No way.
No.
No way. And Blake, I don't know if when you listened to this song, if you did it through YouTube where you watched the lyric video.
I did not watch the video. I just listened to the song.
That's okay. The video.
Honestly, if we're just like going like Sabrina versus Olivia, though, you gotta say, like, even being 4 years her elder, Sabrina's song is inferior. Like,
yeah.
Driver's License is just better. So
Driver's License.
We're gonna end that debate right now.
Yeah, Driver's License is a better song. If you're picking between those two, pick that one. But if I'm trying to find the exact line towards the end of the song, and in the lyric video, this word comes up really big, and you'll see the one that makes sense. She has, towards the end of the song, says, I just hope that one day we can both laugh about it. When it's not in our face, we won't have to dance around it. Don't drive yourself insane. It won't always be this way. I just blew Blake's mind with this, and I could see it on his face. The word drive came up so big. It was like it was glaring me in the face. I have no idea if that is actually meant as another part of the diss. It's like she already referenced her at the beginning.
No, it's a diss track now. It is like the most passive-aggressive diss track.
Yeah, and for the record, Sabrina Carpenter came out in an interview and said that this song was not, and she said this song was not meant to be written as a diss. I forget her exact words off the top of my head, but she said something about she would not go that low to just write a diss track over a couple lines. And something about the way she phrases that feels like it's just another diss. Like she wrote a diss track sort of being like, I don't care.
It's a backhanded statement.
Yeah, backhanded statement. It's like saying if she meant it, it would be, I just don't care. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it's she sort of said it like, I don't care. And this, like, I don't really care because I already have him. And then a couple of those lines in this just seem to hit that home for me.
Wow.
So,
also noted, Joshua Bassett wrote a song that might be the other piece of this Disney Channel love triangle, if you want to call it. But we didn't listen to that one because that one had kind of been said may or may not be. There wasn't as close connections with that song. But if you want to go check that out, Joshua Bassett has also released some music. Otherwise, do we really want to do this just because, again, we're both big fans of High School Musical, the musical, the series. If you watched the 3 High School Musical movies, I think you would really enjoy that show. It's a very nice, fresh take on High School Musical. And, you know, it gives some odes to it, but it also feels like a very fresh, new show. Like you didn't have to have watched High School Musical. It actually kind of pokes jabs at some of the cliches of High School Musical. The characters are more representative of what I'd say high school actually is, especially like in today's day. Well, I mean, I know I haven't been in high school for a while, but, you know, kind of a little bit closer to that than what the movies were. I have a couple last minute thoughts on the song itself. Did you have anything?
No, I think I covered. I mean, I'm just blown away by all of that. Like just all the connections. It feels like there has to be something there. And I think that's what people are feeding on today, is that there's something there. But, you know, songs are written long in advance. I don't know how they would have been able to pump out a full track 6 days later, unless she had heard it sometime before and then wrote it. But even still, that feels like a little off. But what are your concluding thoughts?
Well, she not only has reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, but she debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 at the age of 17, making her the youngest solo artist to ever do that. So if you have any friends that have any inflated egos, just ask them, did you write a #1 song at the age of 17 that debuted atop the Billboard Hot 100? Because the answer is, unless your name is Olivia Rodrigo. But the fact that she's doing what she's doing at age 17 is amazing.
So what you're saying here is, for Olivia Rodrigo, this could be the start of something new.
Yes, Sam.
Yeah.
And if
Come on.
you would bet on anything, her career, you can bet on it being good.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll save listeners. We'll save you from the rest of that.
Well,
let us know in the comments what you think about this whole big debate. Do you think there's something to it? Do you think there's nothing to it? Do you think there's something to keep our eye on?
Will we see something in the show that, like, there's some tensions going on backstage? Because this all happened after season 1 ended. So stay tuned for season 2 of High School Musical, the musical, the series. Obviously, go check out the songs. And this is Music Major Moments signing off. Sam and Blake, we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace and love, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed the video.
If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications whenever we drop a new video.
See you next time on Music Major Meltdown.